keeps falling and wonder where he is in all this.
The days are always busy before we seat big parties in the evening. Tons of prep on the floor, cleaning glasses, polishing silverware, setting the tables. The kitchen is there even earlier in the morning, washing, cutting, already beginning to simmer sauces and soups. They bake bread, prepare the meats. Being here on these days, prepping for such important dinners in people's lives, birthdays, anniversaries, celebrations, it often makes me think of those that were present at the Last Supper. But did they know how special that gathering was to be? It would not have been an unusual day for those hosting. They were used to rising early to prep for these types of gatherings. The servants at that gathering must have begun the day like it was just any other. Then they see the party enter. Did they sense something right away about the one at the center of it all? Did they sense a power or a presence about this man? Did they catch glimpses of him through the doorway? Did they crowd around and whisper amongst themselves as they heard that this was Jesus of Nazareth, the one that claimed to heal the sick and raise the dead? Then the food is brought out, the wine is poured, the feast begins. It was a Passover meal, sacred. Not just any big feast. There's a buzz at the beginning of the meal, the smells circulating around the entire house, the anticipation after a long day's walk to sit and enjoy. Servants coming in and out of the room, those in the back cooking the food. It must have been also routine for them. Little did they know they were serving the Son of God on the very night in which he would be betrayed, in which he would be sent to the most gruesome death. As I serve big tables, I pick up bits and pieces of conversation all the time. But how strange it would be to overhear a conversation like the Last Supper. To hear the man in the center of the table speak earnestly about not sharing another meal with them until they were in the kingdom. To hear him speak of betrayal. What would I have thought to come in and watch this man break the bread and pass it around saying, "This is my body, which will be given up for you." Or to be pouring the wine at the table and hear the man in the center pass the cup around saying, "This is my blood." Saying things like eternal covenant, a final arrangement between humans and God, his body and blood, signs of an eternal bond. Would I have thought it utterly strange? Or maybe I would have been enraptured, along with the rest of the servants and staff. Maybe we would all have been hanging on his every word. They did not know what would transpire over the next 3 days, but we do now. We know now those words spoken by Christ at the Last Supper was the institution of the highest point of our being, united to him and to each other. It was the start of what we call the Eucharist, our church's meal of worship. There is something uniquely special in the communal gathering of a meal. Family, friends, loved ones. It transcends race, gender, age, economics. It is a wholly human experience. We gather for meals to celebrate, to mourn, to share joy or sympathy. It is the place where life is experienced together in a way not found anywhere else. It is no coincidence that God has chosen this setting to root our life with him. In the celebration of the Eucharist, the communion with God himself, we find the fullest expression of our faith experience, the full expression of our human experience.
Give me shelter, Lord, from this storm. As it poured, you made it pure. In an overcrowded mind, the hurt, it brings us down to where we reach for him. Our God above has hands hands to heal, saves us from our faults and fears, giving us the peace that we so